Hello, I'm Dana. This is the pick a number card readings for the Fool's Journey Facebook group. And if you picked number 49, this is your reading. We're doing that a personal growth reading. So I'm using the Return of Spirit Oracle deck. Beautiful fractal art deck by Cheryl Lee Harnish. I love this deck. So this reading has 6 questions in it. Each card has a position and answers a specific question that takes you on a little bit of a journey. So we're going to do that right now. I ask for grace, objectivity, compassion, and clarity for this reading. And I ask that only angels, spirits, and guides of the highest vibration answer through the cards. And I ask permission to begin. Okay. I shuffle till the cards won't shuffle anymore. So the first question is, where do I need to be more honest? Where do I need to be more honest? And the second question is, where do I need more confidence? Where do I need more confidence? Where do you need more confidence? Where do you need more confidence? Where does the clear? Okay. And the next question is, how can I positively affect others on this journey? How can you positively affect others on this journey? Okay. Okay. And I should put this up here so I can see it. What is distracting you from your path? What is distracting you? What is slowing down your progress or taking your eye off the goal? Okay. And then what needs to be released? What needs to be released in order to continue moving forward on our path, on our life purpose? And finally, what's my next step towards my purpose? So what is your next step towards your purpose? Okay, the cards all jumped out. So I will show these to you as we go. So they, let me see if I can, I don't know if you can see the layout there. There you go. You can see the layout. So stop that. So the first question is, where do I need to be more honest? And the card that you received is love. So where do I need to be more honest? When we see the love card in a position of dominant energy, which is what the first card always is, this is about love of self. Where do I need to be more honest? We need to be more honest with yourself about your own purpose, your worth. This card comes when there's some self-doubt or when you're being particularly hard on yourself. It can also be about your ability to love others and unconditional love. But as we move around these cards and you see the rest of these, I'm going to say that this has more to do with self-love and self-appreciation and being kind and generous and gentle with yourself. So in order for you to move further along and to continue making progress towards your life purpose and living your higher self, the first place you need to start is with loving yourself being comfortable in your own skin and living very authentically, recognizing it's okay to assess and sometimes necessary to assess where our strengths and our weaknesses lie. But typically, when we have a card like this in the dominant energy, it's suggesting that you're spending a lot of time on your weaknesses and you're not celebrating your wins. You're not recognizing what's amazing about you. And you're not giving yourself the credit that you deserve. You're not giving as much time and attention to your strengths and what you do well and what you contribute both to yourself, to your friends and family, and to the world. And therefore you're not really seeing it's going to make it very difficult for you to fulfill your life purpose if you can't recognize what's divine about you. And you are a perfect manifestation of spirit. That alone makes you worthy of the gifts that you possess. But gifts cannot be shared and experienced if they're not recognized. So where you need to be more honest is in the good that you see. So when other people say things to you and talk to you about what they love about you, believe them and recognize that it's true. And it's very important that we love ourselves. Be comfortable in your own skin. Live your own most authentic life, unapologetically. Because when you're doing that, you not only become a blessing to yourself, you become a blessing to other people. Now, the next question is where do I need more confidence? And the card that you got is Fearless. And Fearless comes up. These cards are so beautiful, and they're so hard to see on the camera because they're glossy. Fearless is when we move ahead, even though we aren't really sure of the outcome. It's when we take risks, when we follow our intuition. And by the way, your intuition is never wrong. We can misinterpret it sometimes in order to make it comfortable, but it's never wrong. So where you need to be more confident is being willing to do something even if it's scary. It's that simple. Being willing to take a risk. With great risk comes great rewards. And the bigger the risk, the bigger reward. And I'm not telling you to go walk a tightrope without a net underneath. What I'm suggesting here is that you need to do things even if they're a little uncomfortable. There's that beautiful quote. I love it. I say it every day. What doesn't challenge you does not change you. So this card comes with a strong encouragement for you to be willing to take the road less traveled and be willing to try new things, do new things, go into uncharted waters, and know that you have the strength and you have all the tools you need, really, especially if you remember that you're in this life in co-creation with spirit. So Fearless comes when you're being asked to recognize that it's okay to be nervous and to be a little scared. Do it anyway, especially if you're being prompted. Don't not experience life at its best and in its highest and its most adventurous because you're afraid that you might make a mistake or you're afraid that it's the wrong choice. It's really not going to be the wrong choice because everything we do, there's lessons and opportunities there. So it's asking you to take a risk. If you are in the process right now of making some choices and there's one that you're kind of really wanting to do, there's one path you'd really like to take, but it seems almost so far-fetched or it seems crazy, do it anyway. That opportunity was designed for you. Spirit threw that into your path for you. So do it anyway. The next card that came up is a really beautiful card. And the question with this card is, how can I positively affect others? And you got change of mind. And this is such a lovely, lovely card. Now, this card comes when we are in the process of moving into a higher level of consciousness and awareness. And what happens, this is typically a spiritual place. It can be physical and it can be emotional as well. Very often it's spiritual, and it's coming right after the fearless card, which I find fascinating. So you have the fearless card saying, take the risk, do it, do it, do it, do it. And then you get change of mind, which is all about you moving into a higher plane. This is a reward for you being fearless. This is all about you moving into this higher level of consciousness. And when we start to see the world from a new perspective, it changes the way we see the world. It changes what we expect. It changes what we're able to do. That what's the beautiful about this card is this is a step up. This isn't when we're hurt and we all of a sudden we think all things are bad, or there's no love for us, there's no rewards for us, there's no abundance for us, whatever, when we have those moments of darkness and we can't see the forest for the trees. This is the type of change of mind that moves you forward exponentially and in huge leaps and bounds. What you need to understand is all change, especially when we're shifting into a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of awareness, a higher level of being, this much higher level of energetic activity. It can be a little bit scary, and we feel a little uncomfortable because things that we've always held true are suddenly not feeling quite so true. We're starting to see things more objectively from a higher point of view. We're starting to have a bird's eye view of situations and people and issues, even from a very different perspective, and it changes us. We become a little bit more understanding, more compassionate, more loving. So this is an exciting card. So how are you going to impact others in a positive way? You're going to affect other people in a positive way because you are going to see things in a much truer sense. You're going to be able to read between the lines. You're going to have a much higher stronger ability to use your intuition. You're going to be using your third eye a lot. You're going to be listening to your heart a lot. And this is going to affect everyone around you. This is going to allow forgiveness. It's going to allow for differences. It's a really wonderful card. This is a huge step up in working towards and living your life purpose. And it's going to affect other people because people are going to see the result of this more clear, changed vision. And they're going to reap the benefits of it because it's going to be a lot easier for you to empathize, sympathize, understand, lead, help in every way, because you're going to be able to do that all without judgment and without expectation. And it's going to be coming from a place of love because you're going to understand better. And who doesn't need understanding? Who doesn't need to be heard? So everyone is going to benefit. Everyone around you is going to benefit from this because you're going to be the voice of reason. Now, the next card is what's distracting you. And interestingly, very interesting card is you got commitment. So what's distracting you? This card is all about stepping into who you're supposed to be. This is suggesting that what's distracting you is it's right below this fearless card. So it's suggesting that maybe you're a little hesitant to use your gifts, whether your gifts are unconditional love or reading cards or just perfect understanding, compassion, whatever your gifts are, leading, teaching, that you're afraid to make the commitment, that you're hesitant to make the commitment because either you don't feel like you're ready or you're not recognizing, again, they had that love card. You're not recognizing those strengths as your life purpose. So with commitment, what's distracting you is your inability to see in yourself the gifts you possess and the beauty of those gifts, and you're afraid to take that step. And this card comes with a huge encouragement for you to, again, be fearless. Spirit is not going to allow you to make a mistake and take the wrong path. As you begin to have more confidence in yourself and in your gifts, especially, you won't, because with knowledge comes responsibility. That just kind of popped into my head. So I think it's maybe you're a little hesitant to the responsibility of a commitment. If we were talking about there's physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, physical, emotional, spiritual balance. If we were talking about physical, this would be you not willing to commit to do the things that need to be done in order for you to reach your goals. If we were talking about emotional, this would be you not being willing to take the commitment and the risk as relates to relationships and moving forward and letting go of things that don't serve you. And on a spiritual level, it's you not accepting your gifts or not recognizing your gifts as a value to other people. But they are a value to other people and a value to you. Now, the next one is, what do you need to release? And what's interesting about this card is what we need to release is what it is that's preventing us from moving forward, or that's creating self-doubt, or that's creating a sense of not being capable, or that maybe we're not necessarily we're not hearing things or seeing things properly about. It's kind of it's those self-doubts. It's that little bastard that sits on your shoulder and says you can't do that. That's a dumb idea. Did you think of that all by yourself? This is never going to work. That's too big for you. This isn't. But the card that you got is contact. And this card is a little bit about procrastination. Now remember, the question here is, what do you need to release? You have, this falls just below love, and it falls to the left of commitment. Contact is very specifically about you actually reaching out and making contact. What you need to release when it relates to this card is the hesitation that you feel for taking the first step, for making the first move, for taking action on your plans and on your goals. Also, as it relates to spiritual gifts, it's about your hesitation to allow other people, especially people in your tribe, your family, your closest friends, the people that are closest to you, to let them in on your secret. It's also about waiting for other people to make a move. This card comes to tell you that's not necessary. Remember, that love card is really about authenticity, and contact is here to tell you that it's okay for you to make the first move. It's okay for you to move into action and start doing the things that you're supposed to do. Let go of that hesitation, and let go of the fear, the discomfort of living your most authentic life. Let go of whatever it is that prevents you from believing that you are worthy. And then the last card is, what's my next step in moving towards my life purpose? And the card you got is, I just threw the card. The card that you got is vibrational. Now, vibrational is all about what we've been talking about already, about you moving into, it's falling just below, by the way, it's just below change of mind, which is talking about how you are about to move into this higher level of awareness and higher level of consciousness. So vibrational comes when we are actually in that. Your next step is to allow that process to happen. What's going to happen is with the change of mind card, you're going to set in place and you're going to set into motion this shift, this vibrational shift. And that's what vibrational is. So your next step is to allow it to happen. So if things get a little shaky and you're feeling a little discombobulated and you're feeling a little bit like, oh, I'm not even sure I have any gifts. I don't have anything to contribute. And it's not just about spiritual gifts. It's about you being your most authentic self and allowing the world to see that, you're the only you we have. And the world needs you. And sometimes we spend a lot of time being people pleasers and settling and doing without in order to make sure that everyone else is happy. But that robs people of the real you. And so your next step is to allow these changes. Recognize it might get a little uncomfortable, but that's going to pass. Some people will even have physical manifestations, like they feel lightheaded or dizzy, or they feel really fatigued and they sleep for a few days, and things like that. Other people, it's just an emotional thing or a spiritual thing for them, and they just feel confused and they feel uncertain about things, and they start questioning things, and they're feeling self-doubt. And the vibrational card comes to ask you just to let that happen. Allow yourself to feel how you feel, because you are going to get past that, and you are going to suddenly feel very, very comfortable in your own skin as relates to whatever it is in your life that's a little bit out of balance, whether that be a physical, emotional, or a spiritual thing. So here's what we have. What do you need to be more honest about? You need to be more honest about you, about your gifts, and about your worthiness. What do you need to where you need more confidence? And being fearless. And being fearless doesn't mean you're not afraid. Fearless is another word for courageous. And this just means doing it anyway. How can you impact positively the lives of others? By recognizing and seeing with different eyes, and using your third eye and your intuition, looking between the lines, and using your gifts to be more objective and more loving and more forgiving, even more so than you already are. What's distracting you? Commitment. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid of that responsibility that comes with knowledge. Your knowledge is a gift. And the more you use it, the more you will gain, and the more of a blessing you will become to yourself and others. What do you need to release? You need to release the fear of being yourself in front of other people, the need to let other people make the first move. It's okay to reach out to other people. It's also okay, by the way, to love people at a distance. If people are toxic to you, you can love them at a distance. But contact really is about you reaching out and offering your gift rather than waiting for people to accidentally find it. And your gift could be anything. It could be compassion. It could be you're just a really good listener, a leader, a teacher. Leader and teacher keep coming back to me for you for some reason, so that might be something you need to think about. And then what do you need to do? What's your next step towards your purpose? To allow this change to happen, to allow this altering of perception, to allow this increased awareness, this increased consciousness to happen in order for you to see the world in a much different way. It's going to be a beautiful journey for you. You have you've got an exciting time, and you're actually already in it. It's already starting. You're already in this process of moving forward and increasing your energetic energy and your vibration. And what happens, I'll tell you, one of the things that happens as we have these types of vibrational shifts is that sometimes the people and the situations that are in our lives as we move up and forward is that other people don't move with us. So it's very possible that people and situations that have been in your life either for a short time or even a very, very long time, will start to feel a little less like a little less fit, a little not quite as good of a fit, and that's okay. As you do that, you're going to be letting go of things that no longer serve you. You're going to be letting go of old lessons, and you're going to allow people to be who they are and take their path. And that's going to make room for new people and new situations to come into your life that are on a more level playing field with you vibrationally and energetically. And that's going to be a huge blessing to you. And as you get blessed, you become a blessing to others. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I would love to hear what you think and how, if that resonated with you at all. And thank you so much for letting me